PCA friends, families, students, welcome back to an extended version of the briefing room. It's been a couple months since we've been back to you, but we're going to look at a recap of the last couple months. So much has gone on here on campus, off campus, among our students in our community, and then we're going to do a preview about what's to come. Stand by. So here's a recap of many different things that happened from November through January. First, Brianna Malone made school history as the first PCA runner, male or female, to win New Hampshire's Meet of Champions on November 6th. Following a long race in which Brianna stayed near the front of the leader pack the entire way, her last 200 meters sealed the deal as she sprinted to the finish into victory. Well done, Brianna. PCA celebrated Veterans Day on November 10th in an all-school chapel, first with our annual hero workout earlier in the morning, followed by our all-school-wide chapel assembly where we invited veterans of all military branches to be recognized and celebrated, thanks to all those who worked to honor our veterans and to strengthen our community. On November 15th, we released an article on the accomplishments of seniors Maddie Kniffer and Joey Skubish on and off the volleyball court this season. Joey, named to the AVCA All-Region Team and owner of several PCA volleyball records, joined Maddie, an All-State selectee and the school's all-time aces leader, to help carry the Lady Eagles to the state semifinals, the first for the Eagles since the early 2000s. Kniffer and Skubish were also named to the AVCA's Best and Brightest list, the only two in New Hampshire. Well done, ladies. When we returned from Thanksgiving break, our jazz band and voices group performed at the Dover Festival of Trees in early December, one of our key community outreaches. The jazz band played a medley of popular holiday songs, and voices finished the night singing several warm-hearted carols in the cold New Hampshire night. Well done, voices and jazz band, for reaching out and tying into our local community. On December 9th, we held our lower school Christmas concerts for grades K through 5. We were so happy to welcome our lower school parents on campus for a day of Christmas carols, musical performances, and the glorious celebration of our arriving Savior. We're so proud of how much our kindergartners through our fifth graders have progressed this fall. Men's basketball kicked off the 21-22 season in style as they beat Farmington in a hard-fought contest in their home opener. The Eagles were paced offensively by Seth Huggard and Jason Stockbauer, with solid contributions coming from Connor Hickey and Gavin Nagy. We're looking forward to seeing these guys make a run for the playoffs and possibly the state. Coming back from the Christmas break in December, the lower school held its annual spelling bee. Congratulations to all of our contestants, but a special congratulations goes out to our winner, Chloe Tan. Well done to all of our students and to our excellent spellers. In mid-January, we kicked off our annual re-enrollment campaign, and already many of you have overwhelmingly responded. As of this morning, over 400 students are coming back next year. We're so excited, and we hope that if you're still thinking about it, that you would join us as we welcome soon many, many new families that want to come. Already we're seeing that kindergarten through sixth grade next year are potentially going to be full with wait pools, and we want to give you families the first opportunity to continue your PCA journey for your kids and your families. Midway through January, we held our annual Martin Luther King Day Chapel for grades 5 through 12. Our guest speaker, Pastor Michael Worsley, gave an encouraging message about remaining united as Christians, where so much of the world chooses to remain divisive. We look forward to hopefully having Pastor Worsley back to help us continue to shine our light in PCA and beyond across ethnic divides and other societal divisions. The following week, the members of the class of 2021 visited our current seniors, both in person and remotely, to give them some helpful tips and encouragement on transitioning to life in college. We're so proud of what you've done already. We're praying for you as you go, and we really appreciate the linkage between our over 1,000 alumni back to our seniors as they begin to make the transition to impacting the world for good as they live Christ-centered lives for the world. On Thursday night, last night, the PCA players hosted opening night for their black box performances, featuring casts of elementary, junior high, and high school students. Hopefully, you'll get the chance to watch them live tonight, Friday, and next Tuesday night as we postpone tomorrow's matinee performance due to the weather coming in. Go Eagles, go Black Box. Simultaneously, our junior high boys and girls basketball teams both earned big wins in the opening round of their playoffs last night on home court, and the crowds were packed. Thanks so much for our PCA community for being there. Girls basketball won 26-6, and boys basketball won 37-22. On to the championships next Saturday morning, the 5th of February, at St. Thomas Aquinas home court. See you there. Go Eagles. Tonight, As you're watching this, our men and women's varsity basketball teams will host Whiteout Night here at PCA, as our home teams are in white uniforms and our fans are all in the white t-shirts and Eagle gear as they take on Centipede. We hope to see you all there. Again, a great community building event. Go Eagles. And if you can't make it here on campus, wherever you are, please watch us on Eagles Sports Network at pcaschool.org, athletics, and you'll see ESN link right there. We thank God for all the amazing things that have happened in the last couple of months. Let's take a look ahead and see what's coming in the next 5 weeks. Starting the first week of February, we have Black Box doing their final performance on Tuesday night, the 1st of February. 4th and 5th graders, all the way up through our senior high, come out and support our actors and actresses. Last 2 nights have been sold out. See you there. 2 days later, on Thursday, the 3rd of February, I invite you parents, grandparents, alumni to join me in Triano Hall right after arrival in the morning or in the early afternoon right before dismissal to hear the annual State of the School address. I want to update you on where we're going as a school and where we've been. Really exciting time. Hope to see you there. And Saturday, the 5th of February, is a full day. We have over 45 kids and their families coming to PCA for open house. If you know other families that are interested in PCA, this is the time to invite them. We're so excited to be welcoming so many new families to join you in the coming year. At the same time, right across the river over at St. Thomas Aquinas, our junior high 7th and 8th grade boys and girls basketball teams are in their championships for their leagues. So come out, support them. It's great big stands. Let's fill the stands. Go Eagles. So the second week of February is really about academics and academic review. If you're a PCAP family, you're going to be having your conferences with our PCAP staff and faculty. For the rest of the school, you're going to be hearing from our deans and administrators and principals about how we did in the first semester and what we're going to be doing in the second semester. Really exciting times. Capping that off that Friday. If your kids took the NEWA scores or took NEWA, you're going to be getting their scores back. And you're also going to be getting a special insert from the dean on how to read and interpret those scores. If anybody has any questions and they want to meet with the teachers or principals, please note that we have parent-teacher conferences available all through February to make sure that your child is thriving and growing academically here at PCA. Then that Saturday, the 12th, the upper school has rescheduled its Silver Bell Dance, and looking forward to a great event and having the young men and women have a wonderful evening here of fellowship and fun and community building. As you know, February is full of basketball around PCA. That third week of February is when the varsity seasons and JV seasons begin to wrap up. So the last home game for our women's basketball is on the 15th right here on campus. Our men will finish up the following week on the 22nd. And we're going to roll right into playoffs. Both teams are doing very well, and we expect that you're going to hear about their runs, hopefully deep into the playoffs and hopefully into the state championships. So closing out February, the last week, it's winter break, and we certainly hope that you enjoy time and rest away. I know the kids are already looking forward to it. Enjoy that break time. There'll be a few practices going on campus for basketball, again, as the playoffs continue. And then just a preview as we head into March, the first week of March, 2 highlights. Dr. Lawrence will be doing her next iteration on the Life Series on Thursday, the 3rd. Hopefully you can join her. And then Friday, the 4th of March, Upper School is going to be hosting another social event, a coffee house, and again, a wonderful time of fellowship, community building as the kids, young men and women, just have a great time of singing, performing, and fellowshipping. Again, mark all these on your calendar, plug into community. Know that one of the things that makes PCA, I think, distinctive is how we invite parents, grandparents, students to all belong, all come here, part of our community, strengthen in fellowship, character, and fun. God bless you as you go. Looking forward to the days ahead. Hello, PCA community. I am here with Stacey Hornbeck. Stacey is a PCA parent, but you probably also recognize her from the lower school main entrance. She is one of the receptionists. She's also the voice on the intercom at night, dismissing for Kaleidoscope and aftercare and all that. Just a great friend of our school, great contributor to our team. What you may not know is that Stacey is also a sustainable farmer. And she's been doing that for some time. And last year she started to bring some of that skill, passion, interest to us. And Stacey, just really wanted to hear a little bit from you about who you are, your family, and your interest in sustainable agriculture.
Okay. Well, our family has 1 acre, And we've managed to kind of turn it into the term is permaculture. So it's just a combination of permanent and agriculture. And we kind of squash a little bit of everything so that it's kind of a self-sustaining, keeping the energy within, the farm. And the reason that we've done this is we feel like our culture has kind of walked away from where things come from, like I feel like we've kind of stepped back and are losing touch with how to nurture our world that the Lord has given us. And being good stewards is really my primary focus.
How long have you been doing this? How long has it been on your heart, and how long?
I have been involved in one aspect or another of this since I was a child. I grew up with horses, and I knew that I would see things where we would be, frankly, the manure for the horses, I would be like, okay, we have to find something to do with this because this is good, fertilizer for somebody. So, that's kind of where it started, was me figuring out what to do with waste and how to turn it back into something productive and beautiful. And that's kind of what we're working with here. A lot of the fertilizer in the pizza garden at school is from our house.
Okay. So give us a quick sort of outline of your and your family's farm at your house. What's on that 1 acre?
Yes, we have 5 goats, about 30 chickens, 2 geese to protect the chickens. We've got about 15 ducks, so we get the eggs from the chickens, eggs from the ducks, and we've got 3 goats in milk, and we make all kinds of products with their milk. And then we have a sizable vegetable patch, and we have a little miniature orchard.
Wow.
Yeah, and we tried to keep a lot of pasture so the goats, and we kind of rotate their pasture land over the summer.
Yeah, well, that's really cool. So I first met you it's going on 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago here, and we started talking a little bit, but I sensed that you had a vision for what could be brought on to campus and shared with other families, other students. And can you talk a little bit about the journey thus far for the last couple of years? And I mean, obviously the pizza garden seems to be right front and center. I mean, you all come in and out, and you see this thing, and everybody thinks it's for pizza.
Right.
But, so I mean, I have to explain that. But just sort of, what you've thought of and already done.
Yeah. Well, just the fact that we have so much property here, and land can be used in so many different ways, and like at our house, you don't need a whole lot of it to accomplish some really productive, down-to-earth things where we can teach our kiddos how, where things come from, how things are made. Losing touch with that has been, it's been so exciting to teach my own children, okay, how do we make soap? Like soap, something so basic as that. It's been really fun. So, if we have even just a small portion of the PCA property.
46 acres.
Right. And we don't need a whole lot. If we ever get horses, we're going to need a big patch of that, just so you know.
That's like out there. But it's not like too far out there.
But for things like gardening and, vegetable growth and, teaching the kiddos, what are these plants? Yeah. What do they do for us? Why would someone want to cultivate this when it's so much work? And realizing that someone out there is doing this work, and we're eating the fruits of their labor, and just understanding where those things, how much work it is to grow organic food it's intense.
It is. I mean, I don't know. There's some spiritual tie-ins for this, I think. Sure. Obviously, Scripture's full of this type of language in illustration, but also we get to see it. I mean, in the 21st century American economy, it's often separated, right? But you're saying let's bring this back together.
Let's bring it in.
So last year, it comes to mind when we did 2 things that I know are directly involved with. The one most obvious is the pizza garden, and if you could just briefly describe what that project looked like last year and who was involved, because there were some students involved in that. and some volunteer parents.
Lots of them, yeah.
And also maple syrup production or tapping for the sap, but also I know John and Sherry Wilson were involved in boiling it down and making syrup. But some students, not as many, got involved in that too. So, and I don't know if there's probably other stuff I'm not aware of, but let's talk pizza garden and syrup.
Yeah. So last year we started with the pizza garden in the spring. As soon as the ground thawed, we started to break that patch of sod. Yeah. So cut through the grass, pull out the roots.
That was a lot of work.
That was a lot of work.
Got out there for a little bit of it.
Yeah, it was a lot of work, and everybody worked really hard. Thank you to everyone who was out there helping me. That was amazing.
So we had some classrooms come out.
Yes. Oh, the kids loved it.
Was it like second graders in particular?
Oh, and I'm sorry, they got very dirty.
But
but they loved
that's part of the education here at PCA.
Yeah. Hang out with Mrs. Hornbeck. You're gonna get covered in mud.
Break sod on the garden.
So we did that, and that was the biggest portion of work. This year, we're going to be able to get started with a patch that's already cleared. It's already, cultivated. The soil is ready. We're going to be able to do a lot more this year. So first-year gardens are always hard.
Yeah, but we broke ground in there, and you protected, and you did flowers, wildflowers on the outside, and we did some planting on the inside. And why is it a pizza garden, though? There's some key elements of permaculture that are tied to this.
Yes, sir. So we decided on pizza garden because it's shaped like a pizza. We've got a round pizza shape. We've got slices. We've got 6 sections that are rotating. So we have each slice is rotated each year. So this year, the section that was the compost section is now. We've scooched that over, and now that's the cucurbit section. So, and we get the opportunity to teach the kids about the the names for the plants and what their needs are and why they come next. And so basically, crop rotation is and
then allow one wedge to go fallow, right, and to regenerate so that it can come through, and they're sequenced in a. There's a logic to why they're sequenced.
Yes, absolutely.
Which I cannot explain to you, but Stacey could.
It would take me too long.
And we wanted to help the kids understand why it is that. So that's the pizza garden.
Yep. And also explaining to the kids, another reason is that when you get a pizza, I know a lot of families make their own pizzas at home, so the kiddos know what goes into that. But in the, where do those ingredients come from? So you can buy pizza from Domino's, but you can also get, you can make your own, but then also let's figure out how much work it is to grow a tomato.
Yes.
To appreciate that. So where does your pizza come from? Now, it's not all pizza ingredients. We're not growing the wheat.
We had sunflowers in there.
We've got all kinds of good stuff. But so that's the basic idea.
And then briefly, just sort of on maple syrup, because we sort of, about this time last year, were like, do we want to tap this or not?
Right. Yeah, we've got a lot of maples on the property. And last year, you and I just hiked out in the snow. And
I've never done this. Stacey took me out. We went looking. We knew where some of the maples were.
Yep.
Stacey's like, let's tap this one. And
let's just do it.
We started drilling and tapping.
Yeah.
And Sherry and John Wilson, we were collecting in these tubs. And then Sherry and John Wilson, I think, have an opportunity to boil it down. We sold it at auction.
Yeah, that was awesome.
It was really cool. So the 7th grade, I think in particular, went out there.
Did do some bucket hauling.
Yeah, did some bucket hauling.
Yeah.
So anyway, again, many opportunities. There are apple trees on campus. Some are more obvious, others are hidden.
Yeah.
But let's talk a little bit about where we could go, and then we'll talk in the end of what it would take to get there.
Sure. So some of the activities that we brought into the classrooms last year, we've been incubating chicken eggs. We did quail eggs last year. We have the 2nd grade is going to be incubating a clutch of eggs that's arriving tomorrow. So they're starting another one tomorrow. And then Another thing that we've been doing is trying to bring in the idea of composting to the school. Last year we had compost bins around in each house when we had houses, and we're going to be doing a different organization of it this year. But so just recognizing, letting the kids learn what to compost and what doesn't compost. What's the point of composting? Why would we do this? You know.
And then where does it go?
And then where does it go? Into the pizza garden, which is really cool.
See that from that.
Yeah. Okay. Eventually, it stops at our house first.
Okay.
Gets added to, and then it.
Too large, because we have a tumbler composter at our house.
Yeah.
So small.
Right. So we have a ginormous pile at our house, which is really great. But I can bring, so when, I go into the classrooms and I teach them about the compost, and I bring in some compost for them. We wash our hands afterwards.
Right. I've heard, you can feel good compost when it's ready, right?
It is good stuff, and it really is just soil.
Yeah.
So, fully composted, don't worry, nothing raw. And we wash our hands afterwards.
Yes,
but we learn that, and then we'll have bins available for the kids to compost.
Right, like from their lunches or whatever.
From their lunches, so apple cores, banana peels, that sort of thing.
Great.
Yeah. So what else? We've got I'm thinking about and last year we did the little window greenhouses.
Okay. I missed this.
So each class got a little greenhouse. They're like this big. They've got 10 little spots, and we start their seeds with each class, and they grow their seedlings, and then I bring them home and put them into our larger greenhouse.
Gotcha.
And then we had the opportunity to plant those seedlings in the pizza garden.
Okay.
And we're going to be doing that again
this
year. And next month we'll probably start those seeds.
Get it going.
Yeah.
We may get there, but when do we typically want to plant the pizza garden? Knowing that there's a lot of pre-work of preparing the soil and the seedlings and all that.
After the last frost, so the first or second week of May.
Gotcha.
It's late.
Yep.
So, New Hampshire, we're in the north. We've got a short growing season, but we can pull it off.
Great.
Yeah. And another thing that we can do in the classrooms, I brought a little pot.
Yeah, show us some things.
I brought a few little fun things.
Yeah.
So this is a radish. You can actually see his little dried up radish right here. This is a radish plant that we grew in the pizza garden here at PCA. And we pulled out, so some of them we decided to allow to grow to seed.
Yep.
So they continue to grow. They are. And inside each one of these is a number, usually probably 5 or 6 little seeds. And actually, this is such a fun activity for the children to pull out these seeds and to know that they planted these seeds, seeds for this plant. This one just has 1.
Okay.
2. Here we are. So there they are. Here.
It's a radish seed.
Radish seeds.
Oh yeah, and they're pretty tiny, gang. This pod they're like probably 1/50th the size of the pod.
Right, but if you think about each one of these plants, which at home we have an entire bin full of them, each one of these plants came from one of those seeds. So if you think about how many seeds you're getting from this plant, and teaching the kids about the blessings of the Lord and how manifold they are, and talking about this, it's my favorite thing to do is to teach the children about how he blesses us. And then we also talk about hardships with this, because with these seeds there's going to be chipmunks and mice that eat them. There's going to be birds that are going to come and eat the seeds. So not all of these seeds are guaranteed to produce a radish. There's going to be rot. There's going to be, so there's hardships in life. Like just the amount of things that we can teach about life through gardening is exciting. So
no. So I interrupted you. Go ahead.
No. It's just a fun thing to be able to pop it, and we talk while we pop the seeds out of the.
So they're going to take the seed pods and they're going to start.
I'm going to hand each one of them one of these.
That's awesome. And then will these go in the little greenhouse? Will they start some of those?
Radish seeds specifically will go straight into the ground.
Okay.
They don't like to grow they'll go straight into the ground in May.
Okay.
And they grow fast, so they'll
Pretty
be good.
Impressive.
Thank you.
All right. What else? What else did you bring?
We'll make messes together. So I have a few options for. I've been speaking with Mrs. Carnes about. Oh, and here's our little chart of the development of the chickens in the egg. With the classrooms that do the incubation, I only have one incubator at this time, but so each class kind of gets a turn. Eventually, it takes a few years, I think. But anyways, as we go, every few days we candle the eggs. So we find a dark place to, the whole class kind of huddles around. We take one of the eggs out and we candle it, which means you just put a flashlight and it shines through the egg, and you can actually watch the development of the chicken inside. And I absolutely love this because you can actually see the heart pumping. You can see how they grow. You can see once they reach a certain developmental age, they start moving around in there, swimming and jumping. Yeah. And we talk about life, and we talk about that this creature is alive inside this egg. And then, of course, we get to see them hatch.
And we get to see them hatch.
Which is really fun.
That's cool. So it's about 3 weeks or so?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is really neat.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
that's another thing. And some other things that I do. I'll bring her up.
Yeah, bring her up. So I've already gotten to see.
She finally calmed down and settled. But this is Blaze.
Hello, Blaze. Hello again. Oh, hello. So Blaze is visiting, and you brought other visitors too.
We do bring visitors, yes. Over the summer, we brought some goats over to eat the dead plants in the pizza garden. That was an adventure.
That was helpful.
They kept jumping over the fence.
I didn't see that part.
If I walked out of the garden, they'd follow me right over the fence. So, we'll figure something else out next time. But so something that I would love to teach the kids is basic care of animals and how they're a part of our lives here. On God's earth, and how to care for them well and to be good stewards of the animals that we have. Rabbits are just, very, very good at teaching those life skills about how to care for the gifts that the Lord gives us and how to connect with animals and people who are dependent upon us for all their needs, and how we can care well for them. So I do bring the rabbits in to school frequently,
I've heard that there are more than one family at the school who now has rabbits. Yes. Maybe influenced by the Hornbeck rabbits, but that's all good.
But they're good rabbits.
They are. But
they're good.
The larger thing of what we read in God's Word is just, we're charged to care for, steward life, all right, knowing that it's hard and challenging, but this is part of what we're trying to bring in.
Right, and what that takes to care for animals in agriculture and in your home.
Absolutely.
So that's another thing that I'd love to bring in. Another thing I can offer is goat care. Yeah. And basic dairy processing. I have we make soap at our house. Yes. It's gotten a little messy. Imagine that. There's some of our soaps. And I've just brought some little props here. Okay. We can, but I thought we can teach some soap making classes, dairy processing in general. Milk soaps are especially moisturizing, so that's what we use a lot of our milk for. Gotcha. But I can teach the kiddos. I can do classes teaching them how to make soap, how to make cheese, yogurt, how to bake with the soap. I mean, don't bake with soap. Okay. Bake with the yogurts and we can make butter.
That's cool. So what are these to cut the soaps?
This is a soap cutter. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So how would this all play out? I mean, what would this look like? You have so many ideas, and we really appreciate your creativity and your energy. Obviously, you're very talented and dedicated, but you're one super person.
Only one person, one regular person. So I would need helpers, a lot of them, because and this I was thinking this is going to take. It gives the students opportunities for hours, especially the high school students who really need them.
Hours.
Yeah, service hours. And parents, a lot of times, I have had some wonderful experiences with the volunteers who have come to help in the pizza garden last year. It was absolutely wonderful. Yeah. It was wonderful. We had a great time. But yeah, continued help, manual labor, but also, the emotional support and encouragement. We will need help with kind of the dirty jobs, as it were. We will need help with that. And then also for the teaching opportunities, I absolutely love teaching the kids, but I'll need backup, to carry and hold and maintain order.
Yeah. So, hopefully you all can understand and see where we're starting to move out with this and include some very physical and dynamic, even collaborative elements. Some of you have those types of learners. That's their primary language. These are ways they can really start to apply that. Link what they're learning in the classroom to life outside the classroom on the grounds, how we can get some strong biblical stories, lessons, and truths embedded, not just in our minds, but also in our hearts and in our hands and our feet. And so I think that's really exciting. So if you're interested in more, we're going to have some information. Watch the news of the week. Some other publications as we start heading into late winter and spring and prep. Be looking for it on social media when you see the chicks being hatched and you see the greenhouses starting to grow. But also through Summer Heat and our volunteer program is another good way for you to connect if you're interested. So there will be a link following this and going out around over the winter and spring and different ways that we certainly, Stacey can use help, we can all use help. And we have a follow-up meeting, I think, with some of the teachers, science, math teachers, of how to integrate some of the things that God's given us right here on campus into bringing it back into the classroom in other ways that are much more practical. So any final words, Stacey?
I just want to thank you for this opportunity. I absolutely love doing this.
We sure appreciate you and your heart and your practical approach, but also just doing it. And for all those who have helped Stacey and will help Stacey, students, teachers, families, we look forward to seeing what the Lord has for us in this season. All right, see you guys on campus soon. Hi, PCA community. I am here with Elaina Russo, our Director of Development. And Elaina, it's great to be back with you. And we're going to be talking about something really close to our hearts. We're really excited about it this year. It's PCA's annual auction. What can you tell us about the auction? What is it?
Yeah, so PCA's annual auction is a long-held tradition here at PCA. In fact, we're in our 27th year, and it brings together our families and our broader community to raise money for variable tuition. At the heart, that's what the auction is all about. It's to raise money for variable tuition, which is the program that helps families offset tuition costs for their children, help bridge that gap for families who could otherwise not afford to send their children to PCA. And in fact, this year we have about 245 students who are here because of the variable tuition program, and that's almost 50%.
Yeah, 588 enrolled, and so building our community really relies on everybody bringing what they can. Variable tuition, the auction really helped that.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Elaina, it's been a while since we've done this. There are some logistics and understanding about how this works. Could you just fill us in on some of that?
Yeah, sure. So this is the first time we're having our in-person auction. Again, for the first time in 3 years, since 2019. So right now we are planning for March 19th here on campus.
Saturday,
annual auction.
School day.
School day. So we're going to come back to that in a minute. So I said Saturday, March 19th is the auction day, but things actually kick off 2 weeks before that. So the Friday before, on the 11th, we have our silent bidding that opens up. And then the following Friday on the 18th is the artist's reception, the art gallery, and the silent bidding, centerpiece bidding rather, opens that day. So then these lead right into the main event, which is the next morning, that Saturday morning, starting at 8 o'clock. The doors will officially open for those joining us for that delicious catered breakfast. We're going to be served from 8 to 9:30 while that's going on. Silent bidding is closing out its final 2 hours. That'll stop at 10 o'clock. And at 8:45, the live auction gets underway. It is super fun. You do not want to miss it.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Ton of fun.
Yeah.
Ton of fun. So we have done this in a while. We did it, you and I, and with Carrie Abood, hosted one offsite last year. But what items would families want to even consider bidding on?
Yeah, there is a little bit of everything at the auction, from romantic getaways to adventure excursions, helicopter rides, kayaking. There's autographed sports memorabilia, outings for your child with a beloved teacher or a mentor.
They're like some whole bundle class gifts too.
Yeah, bundles that the classes have put together. So if you've got a child going off to college this year or someone who's about to drive, there's all sorts of fun things like that. And you can view all of those right online on the auction page at our website.
Is it live now?
So you can view the items now, but you cannot bid on those items yet.
Okay, and how would I maybe see that now? I mean, where do I go?
Yeah, so right now you can go to the auction page of our website, or you can click on the link that's in the now, and it'll take you right to that page, and you're going to go and view the items for bid.
So the auction website, pcaschool.org, then take me on the screen and go over to...
You're going to go over to support and click on auction.
Okay, there we go.
That's it.
That's how we can you can start to peruse, and can't bid though yet.
Not yet.
All right, we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
All right, so you may be going, who should be there? I mean, come on, Mike, we're in the middle of Omicron right now, and you're like, so who is this really open to? By the way, we'll talk about the medical stuff in March about where we're at, but we anticipate being able to have it open, but really hope and plan to have a lot of people, but who should be there?
So to start with, it is a day of school. March 19th is an official day of school. That is, we are required to meet a certain number of
172 days. It is one of the 172 school days.
That helps us meet our state requirement. And so that's a required day of school for our students. So at least every dad and mom should be here that morning, because you're already dropping your child off for a day of school. But as you know, because this is a community event, lots of grandmas, grandpas, uncles, aunts, friends, work colleagues, church friends.
Alumni
are also a part of our annual auction every year. There's so much energy and fun wrapped up into the auction. And honestly, most people come away having a great time. They are feeling blessed because they got the chance to be a blessing to a child and their family. And not many people get to attend a live auction with a live auctioneer. It's a really unique experience. So if you've ever seen it on TV or in a movie, it really is very much like that, with that high energy, back and forth bidding. There's some really friendly rivalry. It's a really good time.
Yeah, it really is. And you're going to see, many of you are going to see your children, because the upper school students volunteer and they're there helping out. I think the kindergartners are always...
They are a
special
feature.
Yes. Anyway, and everything in between. All right, so that's who should be there, and we hope to see you there. We get that it's an auction. Its goal is fundraising, but are there other ways to participate besides waving my paddle?
So there are other ways to participate besides bidding on something that you would go home with.
Okay.
So there's a very special portion of the auction called the Sponsor a Child portion. You saw that back in 2019.
Yep.
We rallied folks and shared and introduced that concept in our virtual auctions. But this is where it all comes together. This is where the heart of our families and the purpose of this event are the most evident, because families get to, yes, still raise your paddle, but you're not going home with anything in that moment. You are raising your paddle purely to sponsor a child to be able to come to school for a day, a week, a month, a quarter, a year. And it's a very special time. The energy in the room changes, and there's a feeling, a sense in the room that this is a shared goal.
Yeah, it is a special time, and we'll talk more as we get closer about what that looks like and how that works. So we do have a prayerful goal, a hope that we're all laying before God about trying to raise and support for next year. And can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, so our goal this year is $150,000. And of course, more is always welcome. But that's our target, to be able to help as many families as we can for the 23 school year.
Can you give us a feel, like ballpark, where we landed in the past? Is that like crazy big? Or?
It's not crazy. So we've raised almost $140,000 last year, year before, and our expectation is that as we come together in person this year, some of that competitive rivalry and some of the engagement, since this is a required day of school, we're going to see that number grow.
Yeah, so that's good. So, like you always remind me, is what should we do, right? And so to prep for this, and we wanted to get this in front of you, but we want you to, what should we start to be doing now?
Yeah. So there's really 4 things that people can do right now. One is mark your calendar for March 19th. Your child already has to be at school, so just set your own calendar that you're going to be here for those few hours that morning as well, and join us for the auction. Invite your family, invite your friends, your colleagues, your fellow alumni to join you in that fun morning. Purchase tickets to attend, or if you are a business owner, please sponsor this year's auction. This is going to bring more awareness for your business, and it also underscores that excellent Christian education is important to you. And it's also brand awareness for you.
And we're partners, right? I think we see that. You're part of the community here, and we want to encourage you in your flourishing of how you bring service to the greater community.
And then I think the 4th and final thing is bid often, bid high.
Bid early.
Bid early. Remember that the sole purpose of the auction is to raise money for variable tuition, and every dollar helps either keep one of our current students here at PCA and or allows a new child to join the PCA family.
Yeah, it's huge.
All right, so now I have a question for you.
Just one?
Maybe it's more than one.
Okay.
So we were saying earlier, we haven't had an in-person auction since 2019, since before COVID. You had the opportunity to attend the last auction that we had before COVID in person, but you were attending as a guest. You weren't head of school yet.
Right.
What was your impression of the event that first year you came?
So Christy, my wife, and I both were able to attend as guests, and we're very thankful to be able to do that. We were frankly both blown away by the community sense, the desire to come together, the fun, just to see whole groups of people connecting over food, fellowship, and then the purpose of the school. It is a real highlight for us.
Yeah, it's a special day. And did you and Christy go home with anything last year?
Well, that year in particular, we did. So if you remember, there's the art is a big part of what you'll see. And some of them are from your children, some of them are from adults in the area. They're themed. Many of them are amazing. And Christy and I bid on a piece of art. If you watch any of my videos in front of a bookcase, you'll see that apple tree in the back. We bid and won that one. I was so thrilled to do that. It has a place in my heart. That's definitely something tangible we walked away with. And we walked away also, because we got involved in the sponsor child and, really believing in that. I think really, a lot of satisfaction to be a part of something with a lot of other people.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thanks for being a part of that.
Yeah.
All right. Last question. What do you have your eye on this year?
Oh, okay. So I'm kind of a experienced with other people type guy. And I heard that Adam Aboud and Terry Sharbaugh are doing a fly fishing thing today. Yes. And I don't know how to fly fish. I mean, I've seen it. I've watched River runs through it. It looks pretty cool. And I know those two guys, and they're really cool guys. And so I'm going to be bidding that up, and I'll be looking for other type things where I can spend some time with other folks. So
awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you, Elaina, and your team, Elizabeth, Nanda, and all the volunteers that make this happen. If you're looking to plug in and help, we're always taking more folks just to assist in coordinating this wonderful community event as part of being the community. And we certainly hope to see you on campus on Saturday the 19th. And what do you say? Bid early, bid often. Go Eagles.